Hello everyone, Derek Johnson with Tatango.com. This is an emergency video following Black Friday. We saw a ton of MMS messages for Black Friday, which was yesterday. We track all these things in smsarchives.com. Thousands of messages, hundreds of brands sending to their customers. One trend that we're seeing, which is very concerning, the good trend is a lot of MMS messages are being sent. Awesome. The bad trend is a lot of the MMS messages are ending up on the mobile phone blurry. So when I, get a message from my favorite brand and I look at the image, it's blurry. Worse, even if the image has text in it, it almost makes it hard to read the text. And the product doesn't look very good. So we got to fix this. The reason these images are blurry most of the time is because the brand is uploading the wrong size of image. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to link below to a quick PDF that we threw together last minute that essentially outlines the specifications for vertical, horizontal, and square images so that if you're a brand, you can fix this issue ASAP and start sending clear, crisp MMS messages. It's relatively simple, so definitely worth doing. And it'll have a huge, impact on your ROI if customers can see the image, if they can read the text in the image. That's super important. So let me go through some of the things I'm seeing, and then I'll go through what you can download. But again, if you want to just download it right now, click below. The link will be down there. It's a couple page PDF that explains it. And if you have any questions, definitely let us know. So let's first go through it. I'm going to go through some of the MMS messages that have been sent recently. So, and I can show you some of the kind of common, mistakes. So let's just, and I'm not picking on any brand. I think there's just not that much information out there on how an MMS message should be formatted and the ratios and the, how many pixels wide, where the, safe zone is. So I'm putting that all out there for anybody. Whatever SMS provider or MMS provider you're using, you can use these templates. So let's quickly go through some of these and just to show you kind of what's going on here. So as you can see here, the image looks okay, but it's not crisp. And this is what I would consider blurry. The reason most likely is because they're, using the wrong size image, or maybe the image is too large. Again, the PDF that you can download for free will have all of these specifications in it so that it turns up really crisp on the mobile phone. Another thing too you want to watch out for is you got to watch out for, it's getting cut off at the E, and it's very close right here. It's very close right here. These PDFs that we created will show you exactly where the safe zone is for portrait, horizontal, and I guess landscape, and square. So you can figure out where the safe zone is so you don't get, your text cut off. There's actually some really good examples, I think. So even like this, it's not very crisp, especially when you start getting smaller text. It's very hard to read. Now you can see the difference. This is an image preview from the link. Look how crisp this is compared to this. This is the goal, is to get it to this, quality. So let's keep going through here. Just show you some examples. This is a great example of that, safe area in a vertical image. Look at this. It's completely, cut off the bottom of their logo. And then look at this at the top here. Now, what's happening is iOS or Android, when you click on the image, which no one does, based on my kind of understanding and 14 years in text message marketing, talking to consumers, nobody clicks on the image. If you click on the image, it will expand and you'll be able to see everything. But most consumers are not clicking on the image. So you're showing them the preview, and the preview will cut off things at the top and things at the bottom and things on the side. So download the PDFs that we just posted so you know where those things are so you can push everything kind of more into the middle. But overall, it looks good. It looks like a crisp image, but they're completely cutting off things. It just doesn't look that professional. Okay, let's see some other things. Oh, here's another one. Look at this. All this text down here is cut off. So not good. Keep going, just show you some other examples. I think this was the same company we saw before, but you know, look how blurry these images look. If they were crisp, clean, you know, high resolution images, you know, I think they would get more click through, you know, on their messaging because the image, the apparel, the product would look more appealing. And then you do things like, you know, even with, you know, GIFs here, you can see how, you know, there's a black line here, but it's not over on this side. Let's see. This one actually looks pretty crisp. This one looks pretty good. So most likely they're using the right, you know, image sizing to make it look this, you know, crisp and clear where, you know, look at the difference. You know, that's a huge difference compared to, you know, even like, let's say this one compared to this. Big difference. Let's go through. You know, they know where the cutoff zone is. Look how close that is to the side, but it's not being cut off. So they're aware of where that cutoff zone is. Looks better, but it's not perfectly crisp. So again, most likely they're, you know, uploading maybe the right, you know, height, but not the right width. So then the phone is trying to figure out how to kind of condense it and shift it, and it's just making things a little bit blurry. You can really tell when the text gets a little smaller. Looks good. You know, Williams Sonoma. It's close. It's getting a little tight down here. So obviously they're aware, you know, or maybe just they're lucky. I don't know. But, you know, it's a little tight. But pretty crisp, the image. Let's see here. Let's find some others. This one was kind of, you know, sucked because it's a nonprofit. You know, it's not the crisp. Actually, no, this one's pretty good. This you can tell because, you know, maybe it looks like it's a, you know, like an undercover image. So I think that's why it's a little bit blurry. But then you can tell from the undercover investigation and the logo how small that is, but how crisp the letters are. That's what shows me that they've done the right, you know, ratios here in terms of sizing for the MMS image. This one. Just see how, like, as I was saying in the last one, you can tell, you know, by the small text, but like, look how blurry this image is. You know, this is not the wireless carriers. This is the formatting of the image. You know, and maybe, you know, these brands are just pulling them from Facebook and going, yeah, you know, it's a Facebook ad, I'll just pull that image and put it in. No, you got to follow the MMS specification. So let's jump into the PDF just to quickly show you what it looks like. So here we go. This is, you know, and I'll link below so you can download this for free. So here's, you know, the image for a portrait. You're going to want to do 1080 by 1920 and stick with these exact pixel size. Don't, you know, if the ratio is 1:2, don't go 1/2 to 1 or something. Just stick with the pixel size. We've tested it on all different devices. This will produce the crispest, clearest MMS image. And then as you can see here, we put the safe zone. So as you can see with the sun and kind of the waves here, they don't even show up. You know, these two waves don't even show up at the bottom here. So it's very important to realize that. Then we go to the square template. You can see it here. 1080 by 1080 is going to be the optimal, you know, sizing with 500, you know, kilobytes or less of a file size. You don't want to upload too much in terms of file size. And here is the landscape template. So again, my name is Derek Johnson with Tatango.com. Download these templates, use them to make sure that your MMS messages going forward are crisp, clear, you know, great MMS images. Again, if you have any questions, let us know. Thanks, everyone.